like to give a shout out, brother, to my favorite YouTuber ever, the New 80s Revolution, brother. Cause what you gonna do when the New 80s Revolution runs wild on you? Anyway, Jason, thanks for the shout out, brother. Um, you probably have more toys in that basement than I ever did in my lifetime. Good job to you. This is what keeps our childhood alive, man. This is the way. They say there's no going back. There's no way to go back, but there kinda is, because if you can open a closet and look and escape, it's awesome, brother. You're looking at the number one Hulkamaniac there ever is. Listen, I grew up in, the thing is about it, break it down like this, when people talk about that stuff, millennials and all that thing. To break down the era of which me and you grew up in is like this. You're born in 76. I'm born in late 81. The thing is that you have a very special childhood as well as I do, in the sense that you spilled into the 80s, you spilled into the 90s. The thing about it is that when you're born in the 80s, you're a 90s kid, in the sense that most of your growing up and real hardcore memories will be there, as well as when you're in the 70s, the majority of your childhood will be in the 80s. But all that stuff you were talking about, like the McDonald's characters, the commercials, the Christmas commercials, the holiday specials with Charlie Brown and Garfield. Garfield is like one of my favorite cartoon characters. I have a list. Of favorite cartoon characters, but I gotta tell you something. I have a soft spot for superheroes: Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Batman, but my favorite superheroes are Hulk Hogan, He-Man, and the Thundercats, baby, and the Ninja Turtles. But He-Man, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles came before my love of wrestling. See, in that particular era which I was born, when you grew up, your parents, your elders told you that this is a boy's toy and that's a girl's toy, which is the same thing. She-Ra, Barbie, and He-Man. Okay, we were taught to have muscle down, pardon the expression, hulky man. So, you grew up watching all these muscle guys like Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and all of that. But around the age of 11, and I was still pretty much a kid, a little naive. 11 nowadays is like being 21. But I was a baby, even though when I hit 12, my body started sprouting hair and the voice got a little deep, but I still had like a baby face and a baby stature and baby fat. And 12 years old is very young. And it's still a baby. Around 11, 12 is when I discovered wrestling and the video games and stuff like that. Changed my world forever, because I'm glad for wrestling because I feel like it would make me grow up fast. Besides the fact of what I had to go through with my condition and stuff like that, I could say honestly, besides people's ignorance and certain family members and certain in-laws' ignorance, for the most part, I had a joyous childhood that could never be taken away or reproduced. Um, but um, I would say that preteen and junior high school me had more of a childhood than ever, and it extended into my high school days where I was playing with toys up wrestlers up until 16. That's when I would let the packages breed. Sometimes I would have doubles and I would lose one guy and I would open up my package one. I know that's a no-no, but I liked keeping them in display. I regret it now. I replaced some of them. The same way you like the LJNs, my LJNs was the Hasbros. Damn, I wish I could finish that set. I only got 25 left, and I saw a couple of them signed. I'm into that too. I basically met everybody from the 80s except for Andre the Giant and Macho Man Randy Savage. Those people that counted most of the people that I grew up in with the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Basically everybody I've met with the exception of the Rock and Stone Cold, but I have memories of them going to house shows in Madison Square Garden, so I'm cool. And plus, my uncle actually worked in a club with a pre-rock Rocky Maivia with the Nation. He was so drunk that he almost signed my uncle's sleeve, and it was pretty cool. My uncle was like, "Sign it for Christopher, sign it for Christopher." But Jason, God bless you. I really want you as a friend, and I'm really glad you're keeping up with the channels and doing everything. Your year-end reviews, play action wrestling. Um, we need this content on TV. We need somebody like you. You can't go away. Like Hulk Hogan said, after 9/11, we need Coca-Cola, we need McDonald's, we need old-fashioned Americana. We need you, Jason. And I want to say, maybe one day you message me and we'll meet up somehow. I just like the fact how you have all them carded and lined up, and you can look through volumes, and it's like looking through records also. I envy that. I pretty much have the all the wave of the LJNs because it was passed down to a good buddy of mine who was also my baseball coach and my first boss, to be honest, as an intern. Didn't get paid, but he got me a lot of stuff, including his childhood buddies, um, brothers, LJN collection. Do not have the black cards, but I have everything else. Do not have most of the tag teams. I have the Bulldogs. Don't have the Killer Bees. Don't have Brett and Anvil. Don't have Coco and don't have $1 Million Man. And my friend John's brother said he was keeping Big John Stud. But I do have Kamala, everybody else, and of course Hogan and everybody else. But yeah, man, I remember actually in junior high kids playing with those, and they were kind of gigantic to a small kid like me. I have a couple of them actually. You can't see them because the way I'm sitting. Right behind me, I have a loose Jesse the Body actually, which is, in my opinion, I don't know how the hell I pulled that off. A signed Jesse the Body and a signed Mean Gene Okerlund loose right before he died, and I have a signed Hillbilly Jim, which I actually know Hillbilly Jim kind of briefly through a friend of mine that used to work in Coliseum Video, and he also signed a inbox. I'm not gonna say mint, but thumb wrestler, and I had a bootleg Hulk Rock and Wrestling DVD. He signed that also. I'm working on getting a San Francisco toy maker giant sign, so wish me luck. He's gonna be at a convention this week in Queens. Um, I'm here in Staten Island, originally from Park Slope, Brooklyn, 4 blocks away from the Barclays Center. And I'll be seeing you, Jason. Thanks for the shout out, brother. And what you gonna do when 80s Mania Jason Nupp runs wild on you? Take care, Jay. God bless, brother. Peace.